Okay, so I'm trying to do something a little bit technically different this time, which I'm sharing you my computer screen. I'm doing this on my very old desktop, so I apologise if it's a bit judgery, but I wanted to share some slides with you this week, and also because I left my laptop at work. Just complete fail. So much for a really organised new year. But anyway, I wanted to take you through actually an exercise, a short exercise, which is part of our workshop. We did a workshop yesterday on how to get through dry January. And it reminded me that it's a while since I've shared WOOP with you. And I wanted you all to take part in this, because whether you're maintaining, going alcohol-free, or moderating, or just taking a break for now, the key to success is planning. And I hate telling you that, right? Because I think planning is one of the worst things in the world to do. Whenever I looked at behaviour change books, when I was looking to change my drinking, and it told me I had to plan for success. Whenever I read diet books, it tells you to plan ahead. I was like, whatever, that's too difficult, mainly because I had a hangover. The thought of planning anything felt really difficult to me. And what I've learned most of all through changing my drinking, but also through watching all of you every single day, is that the better planned you are, the more likely you are to succeed. So for all of you that are now on another day one, all of you that are not sure how you can get through this month, all of you who might have a good chunk of time under your belt, but might be beginning to feel a bit ambivalent, oh, well, I've got this, then this webinar is for you. And also, if you're somebody who's planning to moderate, this is the most important thing for you, because unless you plan properly, all sorts of excuses will sneak in on a regular basis around changing your drinking. You'll go, oh, well, I wasn't going to drink on a Friday or Saturday, only drink on a Friday and Saturday, but now there's a party on a Thursday and there's a theatre on a Monday. And so if you don't plan for those things and plan for your alcohol-free days, you can become a cropper as well. So I'm going to introduce you to WOOP, and there's one basic reason why I like this system, and it's because I can remember it. And there were many things I thought would improve with changing my drinking. My memory isn't one of them, but actually I think it's really important for all of us to have a tool that's really quick at hand, that you don't need to think about, that you know really clearly what it is. It's easy to remember, and actually for me, it's got very positive sound. WOOP, this is what it's all about. This is about succeeding. So I like using WOOP for that reason, but also because it does more than just help you set a goal. It makes you think about why it is that you're doing something. So let me take you through that now, and I'm going to take myself off the screen for a short while as well, so that you don't always get, hang on a second, oh no, look what's going on. There's me and my technical stuff. So that you can get a break from me. Right, see, it's not very technical, but you know, this is how I thought would be worth doing. Okay, so guys, what does WOOP stand for? WOOP stands for wish, outcome, obstacle, and plan. Very simple, WOOP. And I think you can use WOOP as part of your overall goal setting. You can set a WOOP for the whole month. My wish is to be alcohol-free for the whole of January. The outcome is that I'll feel really happy. These are my obstacles coming up. There might be some particular dates, and this is my plan. Or you could have a WOOP just for today. So you could go, right, well, tomorrow I've got a party. So my wish is to go to the party and not drink. The outcome will be I'll be one step further towards my goal. The obstacle will be everyone applying drink on me. Here's my plan. So you see that you can use it for the big picture and for the small picture, for the small parts within it. So like I said, W stands for wish. So at the minute, my wish is to stop eating cake. Some of you may have a wish to only drink on Friday and Saturday nights. Or I've got a longer term wish, which is to walk the Pennine Way in one go. This may be a very long wish. But the important thing about your wish is you have to care about it. Do you care about changing your drinking? Is this something you really want to do? How much do you want this change to happen? Can you really end up having this as a goal again this time next year. How many times have you had this goal around changing your drinking? Really think about it. How much do you care about this goal? And is it challenging? If you're telling me that you're only going to have 2 nights off a week, are you really challenging yourself? If you're saying you're only going to do dry January, is that because you don't think you can do any longer? Be really clear with yourself. Are you really challenging yourself? My view is if you're planning to moderate in the longer term, then actually you can, if you want to, should be able to go alcohol free for quite a long time, because you can pick and choose when you drink. So, you know, I want you to be really challenging. And is it feasible? Don't set yourself something that's such a big goal that you'll fall off at the end of it, like you know, doing a whole year maybe if you're not ready to commit to that yet, or even planning for me to eat cake if I was sat next to a cake shop, I tell you, all day long. Oh, I am. Shit, it's going to be really hard, isn't it? Anyway, so think about your wish. Is it something you care about? Is it challenging? Is it feasible? And of course, the good thing about alcohol, I'm going to get myself on the screen here. The good thing about alcohol is you can live without it. There is nothing that will happen to you. It's not like food. You can't just give up all of food, but you can give up just all of alcohol. Anything that anyone tells you in the Daily Mail about anything that might be good in alcohol for you, I tell you, you can find in other foodstuffs. There's nothing that alcohol gives you, so you can live without it. So actually a big stint without alcohol is absolutely totally feasible. So that's how to set your wish. And I would like you today, in a minute, tomorrow, whenever is right for you, using 3 to 6 words, write down your wish or your wishes down. 3 to 6 words. That makes it a bit more challenging, but I reckon you could go on a bit of a novel, some of you, because I've seen your posts, right? So I reckon you could write quite a lot. So try and really get it down to 3 to 6 words so that you can remember it. So you can write it down and quickly look at it when you need a bit of inspiration, a bit of a push, and that it's something you can tell other people easily. Oh, I'm giving up for a year. Oh, I'm not drinking this January. No, I'm only drinking on Saturday nights. You know, how much easier is that in 3 to 6 words rather than, yeah, well, I've decided I'm going to, you know, give up drinking for a year, and if I do this, it's because I just want to maybe be a bit healthier and la la la. Keep it simple. Keep it something that is snappy and to the point so that you can remember it and you can tell it to other people with confidence and pride. And then write down on a scale from 1 to 10, how committed are you? And from 1 to 10, how confident are you about this goal? I think it's really important to do this now and then next week and the week after, and keep looking at how committed and how confident you are. But you know what? If your confidence wavering a bit, then you can, if you want to, come onto the group and people will be able to help you. If you feel that your confidence is a bit low, then you can think about plans to deal with it. If you think your commitment's a bit low, you might want to remind yourself why you're doing something. And it'd be really interesting to track over the next 4, 8, 12 weeks. Each week, how committed and how confident you are and how that changes. Because it may be all sorts of variables that get in the way. It may be you've got a birthday or a social occasion that you're really looking forward to, that changes your commitment and your confidence. It may be that you're feeling low or you're feeling stressed. It may be that your internal dialogue's going 10 to the dozen, saying, this is hard, why don't you just drink? You know you want to drink. And that's happening. So it's interesting to not only look at your commitment and confidence, but to look at why your commitment and confidence may be that way at this point in time. Sorry guys, I'm just checking if there's any questions, and as I do it, I realise I've got the sound on. Anyway, so on to the next, which is the outcome. And any of you who do business planning or strategic reports or anything for local government will know that you have to talk about outcomes all the time. But what do they mean on a personal level? Well, what will you gain? What will be positive? How will you feel if you achieve this? what is the best possible outcome of you changing your drinking? So you can say, I'm taking January off drinking, and if I do, I will feel a sense of achievement. I'll have learned more about my drinking triggers, and I can make a decision about the way forward in the future. If you've been like me and been hammering at it for 20 years and decided that's it, your off switch is broken, you might want to go, right, I'm going to pursue an alcohol-free lifestyle now as my wish. And if I do that, I will gain a great sense of freedom from not having alcohol as part of my life anymore, not thinking about it anymore. I'll have a lot more time. I will be able to live life without hangovers. Oh, amazing. It may be that you think you'll feel healthier, or you'll be wealthier, or you'll be more productive, or you will sleep better, you'll look younger, it might help you lose weight in the longer run, all of those things. You may have lots of things that you want out of going alcohol free, but don't just focus on weight. Please don't just focus on weight, because I always feel this misnomer. If you feel happier and better about yourself generally, because you're not sluggish and hungover all the time, then all those other goals become possible. So really think about how you want to feel, what you want to see, what you might hear from other people, your children, for example, if you change your drinking. So, you know, here I'll feel more energetic and more present, or I feel more in control of my habits. That's my cake one. See, not allowed, if anyone sees me near that sourdough donut stand in Spitalfield, you just have to intervention. The lunch is nearby it, you know, guys, in next on Saturday. So intervention. So again, using 3 to 6 words, write down your best possible outcome. Stick it in the notes section of your phone, write it down and stick it big across your wall. Whatever it is that you want to do, put it visible, put it out there. So not only are you changing your drinking, but you absolutely know why it is that you're doing this. I think that's a really, really positive way. So like, oh, Ricky, yeah, keep your sobriety forever. Woo! You're really hitting it there, Ricky. 10 committed and 8 confident. I'm really excited. Tell me, Ricky, what are the outcomes of you changing your drinking and keeping sobriety forever? What is it that you're hoping for in the future? Get those outcomes written down. So moving on. Oh, look, there isn't a break. I told you these were the slides from our workshop. Next is the obstacles. Now, this is the big bit about planning. I've given you all of the exciting, wishful thinking stuff, but it's the obstacles and understanding your obstacles is really important. Now, I can see there are some people on this webinar that I know have had multiple day ones, have had long sober sprints and then fallen off the wagon. Actually, more than anyone else, you probably know what your obstacles are. You know what it is that's holding you back from fulfilling your wish. You know what it is that stands in the way of you achieving your goal. You've gone there and you know what it is that failed you at the first or second or third hurdle. So don't see those as failures. See those as part of the journey that you're going on to change your drinking. There isn't any failure here. Changing your drinking isn't linear. You know, we've all had failures in the past, and then at some point it's stuck, and it's stuck because we completely understood what our obstacles were. So what is it that's holding you back now? If you're thinking about your whole month or 2 months or 3 months ahead, you might be able to think about some particularly big, major triggers. If you're thinking about a party you're going to tonight, you might even be able to name the person who's going to be a pain in the arse and insist that you drink. You might think that saying goodbye at the end of the night might be the trigger, because everyone will go, oh, go on, stay for another drink, and all of that sort of stuff. It may be that it's stress, it's children, it's that time of day when you think that you've gone from being a parent to now having some time to yourself as an adult. It may be your partner. It may be when you're eating particular food, when you're out at a restaurant. It may be a particular drink that when you smell it, you get all sorts of memories. It may be something you do. In fact, what ends up happening is there being a whole set of triggers. I'm going to talk to you about those in a minute. But think about those obstacles that hold you back. And if I just show you here, that those obstacles can be both internal and external. So you can see here a lot on the group that people talk about internal pitfalls. They talk about that internal dialogue, that bit of your brain that particularly when you're first starting It's spending time going, oh, go on, have a drink. You're stressed, you deserve a drink. Oh, you've had a hard day, you deserve a drink. It's your birthday, you deserve a drink. You know, there's a whole lot of internal dialogue going on, and most of the fight we'll have is with ourselves. Some people call it the wine witch, some people call it the inner voice. Whatever you call it, a lot of what you'll be doing is fighting that internal dialogue, because you're going through what I call discomfort, which is you can't do something that you normally do because you're changing your behaviour. At the minute, you know, I desperately want to just snack in between my lunches and dinner, and I'm really stopping myself. My internal dialogue's going mad. It's saying to me, oh, go on, Laura, you've worked hard today, you deserve it. Or Yusu's not here, he'll never know, so go and have something. Or it tells me that I'm no good at dieting anyway, so why bother, because I always fail, and it's only been an aberration when I've managed to lose weight. So my internal dialogue's been going mad. So I've been recognising that and thinking about how I deal with that trigger. I also realised that I drink when I eat when I'm thirsty, and when I was drinking, I used to drink when I was thirsty, and I would drink. Oh yeah, you do drink water when you're thirsty, but I also I drank alcohol when I was hungry, and now I eat food when I'm thirsty. So I need to swap that around a bit. So it's important to know that the trigger for thirst and hunger is the same, and often we confuse those depending on the behaviour that we really want to do. So when I was hungry, I used to drink alcohol instead, and then, oh, I didn't feel quite so hungry. Isn't that amazing? Now, when I feel thirsty, I go, oh, what shall I eat? When actually what I need to do is drink. It's funny, isn't it? I'm going to drink water, not alcohol. So I'm now making sure I drink more water and that I'm always hydrated, and accepting that it's okay to feel a bit hungry. I don't always have to feel full and satisfied. I'm also recognised when I'm tired, makes me more likely to want to eat stuff. And the same when I was tired. Oh, a drink always peps you up, doesn't it? But you know what? The best thing for being tired is having a sleep. And at the minute, if some of you have been drinking quite heavily and now you've just stopped, a nap. Go and have a nap. Go and lie down for a bit. Go under the covers, listen to an episode of a book, or go and read a book. Do something nice. But recognise that it's tiredness that you might need to satisfy, not having a drink. Okay? You may be angry, you may be stressed, you may be sad. They're all internal pitfalls, and they're all things that will come along your way over this month. Our emotional landscape is amazing. If you've been drinking like me for over 20 years, I started when I was 14, there is not an emotion in my life that I haven't dealt with without alcohol. That means that I have to learn new skills. It's just the way it is, because I've never learned to be resilient and learn the skills that all them there are people who don't drink have been doing for years. So when it's normal to be sad and just deal with being sad, sometimes you just have to have a sad day because the next day is okay. People who don't drink have sad days. People who don't drink have really happy days. And they don't make themselves happier by having more alcohol, they make themselves happier by being there. They don't deal with stress through alcohol, they learn how to deal with stress. Oh God, aren't we all so stupid? It's amazing. So start to think through those internal pitfalls, and we'll come on to what you do about that in a minute. But make the biggest list possible. You know, go crazy on the whiteboard at work tomorrow and just make your biggest list of triggers. And you might be able to begin to group them together and think about ways you can deal with them. And then, of course, there's those external triggers here. So people, other people, it may be your partner, it may be a best friend, it may be a particular mate at work, it may be Derek from accounts who always insists everyone goes for a drink after work. It may be when you're in a certain place, because if you're always drunk in a certain place, that will really trigger you. It may be particular situations like family parties or dinner parties or something like that. Or it may be, you know, something as simple as decorating a Christmas tree. If you always did it with a brandy in your hand, then you need to plan with those particular triggers as well. So I cannot underestimate that if you begin to make a really long list of these internal and external pitfalls, then you can begin to really armour yourself against all eventualities that may make you want to drink. And it's also the same for people who eat emotionally and eating response to triggers. It's the same for people with all sorts of other behaviours. We're not unique. This is the same for all of us. And if we've got patterns of bad habits, then these are the things that we respond to. So start to make your lists of your internal and external pitfalls. And then what do you do if you've got that? So this is the P part of the WOOP. So you've got your wish, you've got your outcome, you've got your obstacles. Now this is about your plan. If being stressed gets in the way of my drinking goal, then what will you do? If cooking dinner triggers me to want to drink, then what are you going to do? If sitting in front of TV gets in the way of me drinking, then what are you going to do to disrupt that over the next few months? If my partner keeps insisting I drink, then what are you going to do? Name the action that you're going to do. And there's lots of types of action. You can avoid things for a while. Don't forget, everyone, nothing stays the same, right? Our lives have changed and constantly evolved. So don't be scared of doing some different things. And just because you might need to avoid some things in the early stages of changing your drinking, it doesn't mean you need to avoid them forever. You just wait till you're a bit stronger and you can cope with them, right? So it may be that you want to avoid direct from accounts, that you might not want to go to the pub for a month or so. You may want to avoid sitting down in front of the TV and plan an activity that's different when your kids go to bed that involves you using your hands, and catch up on TV a bit later in a very different situation and surrounding. You may actually want to watch TV while you're cooking if what you used to do was get a glass of wine and cook with a glass of wine. Stick that iPad on in your kitchen or your phone or whatever and just disrupt that routine. I should put disrupt in that list as well, really. You may want to escape situations, so it's okay if you're at an event that's boring and not enjoying it, go. If you're somewhere and people are giving you a hassle about drinking, it's getting uncomfortable, you feel you may give in, go. If you're at home and you're finding you're climbing the walls because all you want is a drink, that's all you can think about, get out the door, walk around the block. You can escape, even temporarily, the situation that you're in, and nobody says you have to stay where you are, okay? You might be able to control the situation by taking your own alcohol-free drinks, by being clear with people what it is that you want to do. You know, you can also just spend some time reflecting on what it is that you want to do, that you're feeling. Go, you know, rather than avoid this feeling of discomfort, I'm going to dissect it. What am I feeling? Why am I feeling this? Why is it so ridiculous that I can't, you know, just take a month or 2 months or 3 months off drinking? That should be normal. So what's going on in my head? Is my head being logical? Is my wine witch being logical? Beat your wine witch back with logic. And it may be that you need to replace some events. So don't necessarily stop being social, but replace them with cinema, replace them with new things that aren't so focused around alcohol. You have these tools. They are part of what you can do to help you through your journey. So, for example, then, I'm going to go switch through all of these things. You don't get a break. So you can begin to put your plan together like this. I wish to not drink alcohol in October or January or for 3 months or for the rest of my life. If I achieve this, I'll be more productive at work and less tired on a Monday. My biggest obstacle is having a drink at Sunday lunch, for example. So I will avoid these occasions for a while, but if this happens, I will make sure to find a pub with an alcohol-free beer. It's a really simple example here, but you need to make this your own. This is all about you, and only you know what your biggest obstacles are. So use it and make it work for you. I think this is a really good tool. So if you find that you've lapsed or you had a really bad night trying to resist the drink, you may want to then on the next day pick up by redoing your WOOP and really thinking about what it was, that obstacle, what was it that made that evening so difficult? What was it about that evening that made you drink? How can you plan for that better in the future? Do you need to get alcohol-free drinks in? Do you need to make sure you're not hungry? Do you need to get some new friends round? Do you need to find different places to socialise? Do you need to avoid a few friends for a while? The list is endless. And like I said, none of these things have to be forever. They can all be about temporarily until you feel stronger in your resolve. But the more you plan for these, the more successful you will be, right? because planning does make a difference, because none of us react well to situations or feelings that we haven't planned for when we're trying to do something that's difficult to changing our drinking, changing a really ingrained, deep-seated habit that is not only a habit, but it's absolutely changed the way our brain works. And so we're fighting against really strong hardwiring. So I want to just, I wanted to share that with you today because I think that's the most useful tool that you can take with you into 2018. I think it'd be great if you could begin sharing your WOOPs, but also as a community, we can ask each other about WOOP. You can say, well, you know, have you thought about doing a WOOP plan? It's a tool that we can use to support each other really effectively. And again, it's one that you can remember, it's one that you can very quickly put into the community and ask people. So if anyone's on day one again, if anyone's finding time particularly difficult, you can use this as a tool to ask other people. And then we learn from each other, which is absolutely awesome.